Hi folks, and welcome to Attica Armory. As much as I enjoy standing on the range and banging away on some steel in a stationary position, it doesn't quite prepare us for a realistic encounter against a deadly threat. So today, we're going to go over some basic pistol training techniques to help you shoot accurately when moving. Before we start, please remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and visit us at atticaarmory.com to check out a bottle of our citrus-powered synthetic CLP. The goal today is to focus on stability and footwork in all four directions: forward, backward, left, and right. And while it's generally preferable to first move to cover, then shoot, then move, then shoot, you won't always be afforded enough time to keep your shots and your movement separate. Sometimes you have to shoot while simultaneously moving to cover. And when doing this, your body, from your feet to torso to hands, are a big unified suspension system to keep your head and your weapon stable enough to make accurate hits in motion. As always, Hollywood movies give us an unrealistic perspective of shooting on the move. You always have some guy making perfect headshots while sprinting or jumping or doing a somersault or facing backwards, and sometimes all at the same time. It looks super cool, but it's so fake, it makes the landing look real. Shooting in a full stride sprint by itself is likely to almost completely erase your chances of making consistent, predictable hits, no matter how good you are. So start slow and learn the basics, and then you can speed things up as you get more comfortable. Try these techniques out at home using dry practice, or on a range if you have access to a place where you can do it safely. If not, you can gain a lot by simply doing cold drills in the living room. Quick safety briefing before we start. Now, let's hit the range and get to it. First, we're going to start off with a slow-mo shot of a basic forward walk toward the target. The forward walk is the easiest to do, so this is a good starting point. Start off maybe 15 yards away with a low ready position, and then you're going to bring those sights up onto the target and work your way toward the target as you shoot. If you have multiple targets, try putting a round or two in each one and transition between them. Don't get too close to avoid bullet splatter. Notice how the feet are rolling, heel to toe, heel to toe. The knees are soft, and the arms and the head are relatively steady and level. Try to keep your torso suspended by absorbing as much as you can with your knees. This will result in less movement of the arms and the head that can throw off your alignment. Now, let's see that at normal speed. Next, let's try the backwards walk. This one's not quite as easy, and there's more of a chance of tripping and falling on some unseen obstacle. So take it slow and focus on your footing. This time, instead of rolling your feet heel to toe, you're going in reverse, so it's toe to heel, toe to heel. Make sure you don't drag your heels to avoid tripping. Again, keep the knees soft and the arms and the head relatively steady and level. Let's see that at normal speed. Let's try moving from left to right. There are different ways being taught by various instructors out there. Some are great, and others are highly questionable. I like to keep it as simple and natural as possible by avoiding any weird mall ninja moves that don't pan out in real life. Hadouken! When you sidestep, try to avoid crisscrossing your feet too much. We're not doing a curtsy for the Sausage King. We're just trying to move to the side smoothly and naturally, and without tripping over ourselves or anything else. And once again, make sure you don't drag your feet to avoid any sags. Now, let's see that at normal speed. You may need to actually pivot your lower body from a side step into almost a backward step after you pass the target and begin to move away from it. If you don't pivot, you may find that you have to twist your torso too much to stay on target. There really are no hard and fast rules to this pivot. Just do some dry runs and figure out what works best for you before going hot. As long as you can do the pivot smoothly and keep your feet from getting tangled up beneath you, you should be in good shape. And finally, let's move from right to left. This is very similar to the prior exercise. Now, let's see that at normal speed. As you practice these 4 directional exercises at home or on the range, try to remember these key takeaways. 1. Keep things as simple as possible. Shooting a pistol accurately while you're moving around on your feet is already a very complex process requiring a lot of hand, eye, brain, and body coordination. Try not to add to that inherent complexity with fancy moves and useless fluff. Anyway, all that fluff goes right out the window if you have an armed adversary shooting back at you. 2. Don't drag your feet in any direction. In a real-world self-defense shooting, you'll probably be in an uncontrolled environment. There may be uneven terrain, obstacles, bad lighting, and other things that make your movements more difficult and more dangerous. So dragging your feet too low to the ground makes them more susceptible to even the slightest protuberances. Picking your feet up a little bit and rolling them smoothly onto the ground may not guarantee that you'll never trip and fall, but it will greatly reduce the chances. Last but not least, your body itself is a suspension system. Just like your vehicle suspension keeps you gliding smoothly along even as the rough road races beneath you, your body must work as a unified system to keep your hands and your eyes gliding smoothly along the invisible plane to your target. Be the best suspension system you can be. And just one final thought before we wrap up today. There were some weird tangential things rattling around in my head while I was shooting this video, and I wanted to share them with you briefly just to get your thoughts. If the Earth is rotating at a rate of 1,040 miles per hour, or 1,525 feet per second, which is actually faster than the bullets coming out of my pistol in this video, why then does it take the same amount of time to reach its target at, say, 100 yards away? No matter which direction I shoot, shouldn't it get there faster or slower depending on if I'm facing east or west, respectively? What about north to south? Why don't I have to lead or trail the target if the Earth is spinning faster than the bullet flies? Also, why is there not a constant 1,040 mile per hour wind blowing from the east when the air flows over and around a moving object as opposed to sticking to it? In that regard, how the heck can an airplane even land on a runway pointing north to south if the runway is moving sideways at 1,040 miles per hour? Now, I'm hoping you folks that are smarter than me out there can answer some of these questions in the comments section. Anyway, thanks for entertaining my little tangent. I really hope this video was helpful in your training and your skill growth, and we'll see you again next time at Attica Armory.